How we doing?
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hi. Hi, my name is Claire.
And I'm Molly.
And this is
Book
Book Stupid.
That's actually maybe part of the lore we could
This is good lore.
unspool
This is good
for the
lore.
people.
Yeah. So, actually, someone was asking me recently, how did I meet you? And I was like, we lived on the same floor freshman year.
Yeah.
Molly lived at the end of the hall. I lived in the middle of the hall.
Of college. Like, we didn't go to, like, boarding school.
Yeah, can you imagine?
We'd be so much posher.
We would be very different people.
We'd probably be in rehab.
True. So yeah, this was freshman year of college,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't really remember meeting Molly. I just remember being like, that girl is so tall. And like a presence. You were a presence. In like the
pejorative.
No. You were pejorative later, but no, you were like a presence in like the floor meetings. I was like, she like.
That's crazy. I was like silent.
No, but.
Or was I silent?
You were definitely silenced. You like communicated power.
Via height.
Via height and like aura.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Via fire sign.
Yeah. And I remember like someone being like, she's from Wisconsin, and I was like, okay.
Those
like the Viking blood.
Yeah.
Which I know is like more Minnesota, but.
Oh, well, you know, I guess we were all settled by similar people.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I clocked you very early. Like, I pined for you.
So romantic.
I did. But you thought I was a bit of a vapid bitch, didn't you?
I never use those words. We would only ever cross paths in the hallway, and because we all had to share a bathroom.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know you, but like whenever we saw each other.
You judged me, didn't
I did.
you?
And like, I will actually say I'm one of those people who's like not a great, I feel like everyone's like, I'm a great judge of character. I don't think I am. I often misjudge people. I feel like I totally misjudged you because I would see Molly in the hallway and she would always go, "Hey, ladies," and I was like,
yeah, you hated that it was like a valley girl, like, hey,
yeah, I think I thought it
girls,
was a
how we
little
doing?
bit
With like Countess Luann's voice.
Which I was a big Roni girl at that time, so
it was just a little too cute.
Yeah, I guess maybe I felt a little
overly
bit
friendly.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't know her.
Like, hey, girl.
Yeah. But I was so wrong.
Just like desperately trying to make friends, but okay.
Yeah. See, I thought I was like, she's got so many friends. She's cool.
No.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, wait, I just want to circle back. I don't think you're a bad judge of character. I think you are much more open than the average bear to like evolving your opinion of someone, which is actually a wonderful quality.
I do think I'm like happy to change my mind and like be proven incorrect. I think I'm just often wrong. Is more.
I don't think that's true. I just think you're open to growing.
I'm definitely open to growing. I have a growth mindset for sure.
You have a growth mindset. I love something about you. But no, I noticed you and you were like having you were like laughing for real. I was doing a lot of like,
wow.
Yeah, you were like funny and you had funny friends and you guys seemed to be like doing funny stuff. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm like going to like bars and stuff, but I think these people might want to kill me. And
I think they might want me dead.
Like, you're right, I had friends. I just think they all wanted to kill me. And I wasn't really laughing very hard, and I felt very lonely. I also think going from the Midwest to the Eastern Seaboard was different.
For sure.
I always knew I wanted to, and I always felt like I belonged on the East Coast, which I think has borne out. Like, this is right for me.
Yeah.
But, no, it was definitely like a culture shock. I think it was a lot of tri-state area, which I did not understand. Like, you said you were a Roni girl. I had never watched Real Housewives of New Jersey. I think that could have been required reading for going to the school we went to.
Yes.
Like, Admitted Students Day, like a mama's boy from Long Island, saw that I had a cracked phone screen, and he like leans over, he goes, "I can fix that for you real cheap." And I was like, I'm good, bro. Like, my parents pay for my shit right now.
Yeah. Like, I got
I'm
it.
18.
Sorry.
Like, I'm going to figure this one out. But he's like, no, I'll fix that for you real cheap. cost is you do my laundry for a semester.
He said that?
And I was like, Mom, I want to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so that was kind of like, whatever. But all to say, I did notice that you were like, I think I am a good judge of character.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I was like, I want that girl to be my friend. But you would kind of like stand in the corner of Tinker's, the like freshman bar, with Steven, who famously hosted the Steven in the City 30th birthday party we've talked about previously. Yeah. You guys would just kind of like stand in the corner and like make little jokes to each other and like judge.
Yeah,
and
we were like, being bitches. Like it's not like we were so sweet.
So bad. Yeah, no one said you were sweet. Okay. But I was like, those are my people.
Yeah.
And it took me months and months for you to.
I'm so glad you did though, because like I who knows where we would be.
Who knows?
And then we ended up living together, which was so random because I was like, I really don't know her. And then the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah. And now I can't live without you.
Me neither. And I was like, hey ladies, like who's this girl who's always saying hey ladies? I'm like, she's so tall.
Where did I
also up? Erin lived next. She's also but she lived next to me, and we were always like, I feel like our opinion of you was tall. It was just like, that girl is so tall.
Tall and hey ladies. Pick one.
You can't be both.
Yeah, I think I have kind of eradicated hey ladies
for sure. It's also like very like hey, like was she hitting on us? Yeah, in the hallway.
Also, like it's like the language of someone on a cruise in their 50s.
It was very Luann.
And she's very tall.
Yeah,
So maybe I actually did let Rhodey filter into my life.
Yeah, maybe you didn't even need to watch it.
Right. I should have been watching New Jersey. I was watching Roni, and that was my fatal flaw freshman year of college.
Yeah, there you
go. So we haven't seen each other in a minute. What you been up to?
I feel very distant from my culture at this time. I was in Denver for the week. Very dry place.
Arid.
Very arid. Everyone kept talking about the altitude, and I think
that's what gets you.
It's the altitude that gets you.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, you guys are being dramatic about the altitude. I'm completely fine.
Which is fucking crazy because it would take you somewhere 80 degrees to get heat stroke.
True.
So I can't believe you're like good in altitude.
I was totally fine. But also that I was like needing to nap and like feeling very faint. So maybe I wasn't fine. But I was like, you guys are being drama. Yeah, I was there for work, which it's always interesting to be somewhere for work because you really end up just working and not doing anything fun pretty much.
No, totally.
I have a friend who lives out there.
Oh.
My friend Colin from...
Right, you saw Colin.
Yeah.
From home.
From home. Yeah, he's from Pennsylvania.
You guys were lifeguards together.
Colin and I worked together at a summer camp the summer after my freshman year of college and then the next summer as well. And it was just like a fun, like... I don't know. It was the kind of job where... I got it out of necessity. I had been lifeguarding at this place.
And passion.
And yeah, passion for the craft. And I ended up like having to quit. And then I was like, me and my, Julia's my best friend from childhood, Joops, sorry. And then our other friend, Amanda, that makes three.
What a normal way to describe.
Baby makes three. Amanda makes three. And she and I always lifeguarded together. And so we literally quit this job together because we were like, we're a package deal. And then we ended up working at this summer camp together where we met Colin and our other friend Brennan, who we went to high school with, but we didn't know him in high school. Anyway, the four of us became really good friends. 2 really fun summers. And like we have remained friends, which I think is like crazy. Like when I go home to Pennsylvania, like I see Joops, I see Amanda. Well, I don't see Amanda anymore because she has fucked off to California. But I see Brennan and Colin, lifelong friends from a summer job.
Totally.
And they also are both writers.
Yeah.
Like
Brendan and Colin.
Yeah. Amanda's an engineer. But like Brendan and Colin are both writers, so I feel like we always have things to like talk about too, like our creative aspirations, so it's always fun to catch up with them.
I love that.
Yeah. And he lives out there with his girlfriend Julie, friend of the pod as well.
Hi, Julie.
And I got to catch up with them, which was really fun. We just had like a really good time. They're probably like, I didn't realize this was so central to your time in Denver, but it really was because I was like working all day and then the first day that I was there, I got to we like got a beer. We went to a Chicago bar. It was really fun.
Oh.
Like the last night I was there, we went out on the town, and yeah, it was just really nice to
I love that.
catch up on what they're doing and having beers and talking about if God is real. Like that.
Hell yes.
It sounds so like corny and stupid,
No.
but it's just like nice to catch up with old friends, and that's what I did in Denver.
Hell
and then
yes.
I also worked.
And like work travel is so
Draining.
like draining and like self-alienating.
Yeah.
It really does take you
Yeah,
down
you're like,
to,
do I have any friends?
who am I?
Yeah. You sort of forget who you are. Because I don't know, I'm like slightly different at work. Actually, slight is like, I mean,
pretty significantly different at work.
Different at work. And so, but when you take me and put me in like a work where it's like 24/7, it's like, you're like, who have I become?
Who am I? You have a good line. It's like at the end of a like work business trip day, you just kind of plug yourself into the wall and like wait for your battery to and then do it again. Yeah, it feels weird. You feel weird.
But yeah, it's just, and so to be reminded that I have friends and that I'm like
reminded of who you are,
my humanity on a work trip is so great.
Huge.
And like just like to hear about what Colin is doing with his like writing stuff is really exciting. Not gonna share, but
get your own podcast, Colin.
Yeah. And like Julie's a big reader, so we talked a lot about books, and that was really fun. And yeah, that was That's my time in Denver.
Nice.
But yeah, it just reminded me of my humanity, which was nice.
I love that. Thank you, Denver.
Yeah.
Thank you, Colin and Julie.
Yeah, thank you, Colin and Julie. They said they would listen. I'm scared. Oh, another thing I wanted to say, it's like so funny because now we've been friends for such a long time. It's like I knew him when we were like 18, 19. Yeah. And we're like catching up now, and he's like, I'm trying to secede from the economy. Like the way that we've all developed into adult humans is so funny. He's like, we spent a lot of time talking about AI, a lot of times, and Colin was trying to secede from the economy, which was very fascinating to me.
I'd love to hear his notes.
And we ended up talking a lot about communes because, so he's like trying to learn how to like grow vegetables and stuff. He's like preparing slightly, not for the end of the world, but like he's trying to secede from the economy. I don't know how many times I have to say it. And
I was like a great ad to our
I was like, hey, my friend and I talk about communes all the time. And I can use your vegetables. And we kind of circled back to, what does Claire do on the commune? How does Claire contribute to the commune?
I'm sorry, sounds like you're kind of trying to start a new economy. And I thought the whole point was secession.
Yeah. Great point.
Right. So if you're going to just tear it all down to restructure it to serve you, are you any better than the oligarchs you despise, Colin?
Yeah. It's very interesting. And he was saying, I was like, are you liking Denver? And he was like, it really suits my sensibilities, by which I believe he meant like seceding from the economy.
Cool. Love that.
But yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, we could work on like hard skills for the commune.
Yeah. I could learn how to like
add it to the fucking
Oh,
list.
Another thing I wanted to add. So I was saying, sorry, I'm really talking so much. But
not at all.
Julie, she's a big reader, so we're talking a lot about like, and I was like sharing my idea for my book, and she's so funny. She was like, I was like, the thing is that I've gotten like really into baseball in the last 3 years, and my book is about baseball. And she was like, I've gotten really into F1.
Which, not uncommon.
I know. And I think we were talking about, like, I was sharing with her how, for me, baseball is, like, I've realized that it's a lot more romantic, and, like, sports are more, like, when you focus on the stories of sports, it actually becomes very interesting.
That F1 show really brought the people in.
She was like, Colin was like, it's actually a huge problem. Like, she can't stop talking about F1.
And you have to wake up so early for F1.
Yeah. And then I was like, you gotta get into baseball. And Colin was like, please.
Stop it.
Please don't tell her more about baseball.
Which, I'm sorry, in your commune, is there not space for women to care about sports? Are you kind of returning to, like, a typical
traditional
gender?
Yeah. It's kind of seeming that way, so.
It is tough because sports are largely predicated on commercialization.
Yeah.
But maybe that's like down to its most romantic roots. Like if baseball exists on our commune, it will only be for the
benefit, for pure entertainment and joy.
Yeah. It'll be
no
the purest baseball you've ever seen.
Okay, Okay, I love that.
That's your role on the commune, standing up our baseball league.
A league of their own. Doing a league of their own on the commune.
Fuck, I hate when I accidentally think my way into a league of their own. There's no such thing as an original thought. Whatever.
No, I love that idea. Yeah, I'm captain of the baseball team on the commune.
Yeah, yeah.
And everyone's super grateful for it.
You're the commissioner.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I see that.
So that was my time in Denver.
That's
I
awesome.
finally have nothing more to say about it. So.
No. Okay, that's actually way better than I thought your
I
time
know.
in Denver was.
I mean, most of my time in Denver was like fraught. But I had these. I literally got in the car when they picked me up, and I was like, "It's so good to see you."
I'm Claire. Say it back to me so I know.
Yeah, so that was special. But yeah, it was a lot better than it could have been.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You've like covered so much ground and had such like enriching and like kind of ebbing and flowing experiences since we last hung out. I've lived an isolating life in a different way.
Okay.
I'm just alone with this like puppy who owns my ass. Yeah. I love him so much. Like I'd kill for him, I'd die for him at this
He's
point.
perfect. I've met him now.
He's perfect. Blood and stool. We're working through that right now. No worries.
It
That's
happens.
on it. We're good. But the main thing, I'm having weird social interactions on account of the dog.
Okay.
Like everyone, when you've got a gorgeous puppy, so cute, so perfect, people want to stop and talk to him, and I'm like, I'm just trying to get this dog to have wet diarrhea on the sidewalk so I can kind of like rub it in. And then leave.
Yeah, the picking up of the diarrhea.
Dude.
How's that going?
Like, Joops was with me last night when he did some of his worst, and she has pictures of me just kind of rubbing it into the sidewalk. Because what are you gonna do?
What else can you do?
You get most of the volume you can in the bags, and then you rub.
Yeah. And then you rub.
Alright.
Have you thought about getting a shovel?
I have to carry this dog who gains 5 pounds a day.
I saw a picture of him today and I was like, that dog is 2 times the size of when I met him.
He's over 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So we need to start training harder.
Yeah.
We knew something was coming. As it turns out, it's carrying my lug nut of a dog down to pee and then up to the apartment again without letting his precious paws touch concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's actually really fucking heavy.
When you say train harder, like what?
I need to start lifting heavier weights.
Oh, I thought you meant train him harder.
Oh. No, him I'm like, whatever you want. You train me, not the other way around.
You tell me what you need. Yeah, no, you're right.
We knew we needed to up our game at Rumble. And
now
now
you're
I
being
know why.
forced into a corner.
Yeah, because it's heavy. But yeah, add a shovel to my to my total load. Especially because after he does his business, you hold him after he does his business. You want to keep a wide berth from the asshole of it all. Of course, yeah. And you have to support. So I do like the forklift carry under.
Oh my god.
Each armpit.
Yeah, you need to start like.
Right, so you got the lug nut like that, but now you're also kind of carrying like 1 to 3 bags of wet shit.
Yeah.
And you have to like lift him to like toss that in the dumpster, then you have to like lift your arms again to like buzz the bell so the doorman can let you in. Now you're like opening the door, you've still got the dog, and now you're like on your... There are many feats of strength just on the...
So you need to start doing strength training with an obstacle course.
Yeah. And then beyond that, I need to work on my social civility because people will stop and be fucking weird. And they're all nice. Like, who doesn't want to stop and talk to a puppy? I get that. I want to reward that beautiful human instinct, but at the same time, people are freaks.
People are freaks.
Some, like... You know, a lot of people will mom shame you too. Should that puppy be on the sidewalk? He looks pretty young.
Which I didn't know people... I've never owned a puppy, so I didn't know that that's like a thing. Yeah. That you have to like really be
the
careful
big
of how they interact.
Yeah. Parvo is the big one you gotta avoid. But we worked on a plan with our vet. We're comfortable with our choices. Yeah. We're being responsible about it, hence the carrying him up and down. Need you to back off, lady I don't know. And it's all these skinny white bitches of the Upper East Side. Just ducked in logos. And a lot of them are really nice, but you know, some of them I'm like, back. Some a a weird theme is like weird guys asking me how much he costs. And I'm like, are you gonna beat me up and steal my
Yeah,
puppy?
do you have a gun?
I'm like, I haven't trained hard enough for this.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
And earlier we talked about like what would it take for you to like go for the eyes.
Yeah.
If someone came for my puppy at this point, I'd go for the eyes. I'd take a man's eye out.
I think you're learning a very important lesson here, which is that it's better to be a mean mom than a nice mom, always.
I think the mama bear
Yeah.
stereotype is true.
Yeah.
For good reason.
And like, I think it's nice of you. I think you're actually being super generous. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's so nice that people want to talk to my dog.
No.
I think you're totally within your right to be like,
yeah,
my dog and I are
Step
going
off,
upstairs.
Bro. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm a mean mom and I'm not sorry about it.
Yeah.
I do feel like a mom though, and that's for those who have human children, sorry. Like but it's like
he's a baby too. I think
he's
that's
a baby.
Yeah.
And I feel like such soul and oppressive responsibility for his well-being. I say oppressive like I'm so happy to have this responsibility, but like his being happy, healthy, and alive, my responsibility, and I take it so fucking seriously.
Which is good, and more people should be ready for that when they get dogs.
And I will say, like, it's funny, like, it does take all the romance. Well, I think it's romantic in its own way.
It is. Like, it's like a next stage of life romance.
Our texts are, like, pictures of his poop back and forth, but, like, that's my husband and that's my son.
Yeah, that's my son's poop. That's my nephew's poop also.
It is. That's your nephew's poop and it's bloody. Yeah, so that's
it's bloody.
That's my whole life right now.
Okay, I love that though.
Yeah, so let's move ourselves into the culture.
What we've been consuming.
And because we've not yet seceded from the economy.
Yeah, oh man. To that point, I kept saying, I was like, I'm going to bring Fourth Wing with me to Colorado. And as soon as I started packing, I said to myself, I'm buying it on Kindle. I was like, I cannot bring this book with me.
No.
So I'll just buy it on Kindle.
I have it on hand, but I'd rather buy it.
Here's the thing. I didn't finish The Bodyguard.
So fair.
So I've returned with The Bodyguard on my Kindle. At 50%.
Only 50%. Call it. Time of death.
I literally, wait. So Julie and I were chatting books, and I was like, I'm reading The Bodyguard, and she was like, no. She literally went, no.
She read it?
She's like, I read it, and no.
And big no.
Yeah. And I was like, I know, but I'm at 50%. And she was like, you have to just put it down.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't.
She's like a better friend to you than I am, because I'm like, finish it so you went through what I went through.
And I am going to finish it because I just can't. I'm like, I've done 50%. I can't put it down.
You're not, okay, your pace is very concerning.
But because I didn't pick it up once. I didn't pick it up once because I hate it.
Yeah. It only gets worse, bro.
Maybe I just need to listen to the last 50%.
Sure.
And like check that box. Like because I'm just
1.7x speed.
Yeah, and then it's like at that point, are we even really consuming the book?
Yes, I will die on this hill. Listening is reading.
Well, I agree with that. But if you're listening in at 1.7x speed to check a box, what are you really doing?
Right, then drop it.
Well, but then no. I won't do that.
Yeah, but how about no, actually?
But how about no? So I guess I'll just suffer through the last 50%.
Yeah, no, yeah. Then just do it, okay?
Okay, yeah. But I thought it was so interesting that her first reaction, she was like, that book sucks. Yeah. And I was like, how did I find
people read it?
I know. How did I find myself in this situation?
And how do we get that same distro strategy that The Bodyguard has enjoyed? Because
literally,
why have so many people read this dog shit book? Sorry.
It's dog shit. It's dog shit. It's so bad.
I think it was like...
Do you know how bad a romance has to be for me to actively, like, avoid it?
Couldn't agree more.
Like, it's worse than Hallmark. Because sometimes I can sit through a Hallmark movie. Yeah. I can't even sit through this. It's like, even if my parents were watching it, I wouldn't sit through it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I'd be on my phone.
I don't know. I think it's Kindle Unlimited, and I think they...
Is it a Kindle Unlimited?
Yes. And I think they merchandise the shit out of it. I do not know
why
or how. some back end dealing.
They pushed it.
They pushed it.
I need to see what its Goodreads rating is.
Sure, do it.
Just
That'll be very interesting.
Just to really put the nail in this coffin. I will promise in this episode next week that book will be done.
We have so many assignments between this weekend.
I know.
So
the homework is stacking up. And here's the thing. Now I'm actively mad that this is putting me behind on my Goodreads challenge for the year. This shit book is putting me behind.
Listen to it. Listen to the end.
Yeah. And I also need to read the book club book, which the book club's going to be here before I know
Oh my God, literally, yeah.
And I'm excited about that book. We're reading Intermezzo.
Yeah.
Okay, The Bodyguard is a 3.96, which I think is still really generous, but at least it's not in the 4s, which is what I would have assumed.
And you actually, isn't that kind of your sweet? No, you like a 4.2.
Right, like, that's probably why I chose it, because I was like 3.9, like, okay, it might not be great, but it's probably pretty good, given how fucked the scale is on Goodreads. I can't trust anyone on there. I need to just find women I trust on Goodreads.
Like, it's
build community.
How you find... And maybe they will join us on our commune someday.
Yeah, they can run the library.
Yeah, no, I think let's work on that. That's something we could make a book stupid. Can you make groups on Goodreads?
Ooh, yeah, you can.
You can
make. I'm in like a Taylor Swift group on Goodreads. I don't even look at it though.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we start a book stupid Goodreads.
Yeah, that's a great idea. A community. We're
only
building...
join if you have taste.
Yeah, if you know what a good book is, and I'll be the judge of that. We'll be the judges of that. So that's my book update for the week.
Okay. Disappointing, I won't lie to you.
No, I promise you it's gonna get done.
I'm actually proud of you for not my reading has just been consumed by the Fourth Wing series.
Okay.
The Empyrean series, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I do kind of want to talk about this, like, when we talk about our books later, in terms of length.
Okay.
These books are long. The second one, The Iron Flame or whatever, it's like 2 parts that really, it just should have been 2 books, I think.
You guys love to throw a "the" in front of these books.
Oh, is it just Iron Flame?
It's just Fourth Wing, and Joops hates that we say the Fourth Wing.
Just Facebook.
Yeah, we're really...
Just Facebook.
That's brutal.
Drop the "the."
Brutal.
Yeah. No, sorry. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame feels like it should be the.
Just gives it more gravitas. It's my note for Rebecca Yarros.
Yeah. No, just really long, and it's 2 discrete parts. I think they could have been 2 books. I think she could have made more money if it was 2 books. If it were 2 books. But then I kind of respect that she didn't, in terms of
the capitalist in you.
Yeah, the anti-capitalist in me.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, like, I respect that she made it 1. And they're Kindle Unlimited too.
Really?
Hop on. Yeah.
I don't even have to. Well, I have to buy a Kindle Unlimited. Yeah.
But
maybe I should just do it after all this.
I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the first 2 are included in Unlimited. The third is you have to pay for it.
And that's how they get you.
It's a successful strategy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been, and I've slowed in my reading on account of my dog.
Wait, which one are you on right now? The second one?
Iron Flame 2. And I tried really hard not to say that.
Yeah, you killed it.
And I'm in the second half, and the second half is mostly about war.
Ugh.
I'm getting a little, like, I'm slowing.
Yeah.
Before I was like, but now I'm kind of like, okay, I get it.
Have you gotten to a specific line that is my queen, my throne, my queen, my...
Where he eats her out on his throne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big one.
That's pretty good.
That went down pretty easy.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Seems like you didn't have the reaction Joops had to it, maybe.
I liked the shower scene when she visits him at the front lines. That was better for me than the throne thing. In the throne scene, they're rehashing a conflict that, like, literally...
You're like, enough!
They've had for, like, 900 pages at this point. So I was a little bit like, oh, you
this
guys.
This is everyone's thought on this book, by the way.
Like, I can't even really enjoy this whole throne thing, because I'm like...
We're still talking about the conflict.
We're still talking about your feelings that are actually, like, very plain and straightforward.
Right.
Like, you guys are fine. Yeah, so I grow a little tired of that. I just want them to, like, be healthy. That's together.
That's all you
focus on
ever
the
want
war.
in a book. It's just like healthy communication.
I know.
I mean, it is the biggest issue people have.
My book is gonna be so boring. It's just like, yeah, and they like from the jump, like we're really honest and open with each other. No, I think conflict can be many other things than just like,
and it's a little bit lazy.
I'm walled off, and I like, okay, I get it, but like,
it can be lazy. I'll say
it can.
It's not always lazy.
But you're right. It is one of the most common kind of conflicts that anyone ever has.
It's hard to tell people how you feel.
Well, and I think maybe it's a me thing. It's like, no, actually,
just be confessional.
A pretty easy time.
Vulnerability is power.
Yeah. It's like, well, this is now like it sits sour in my mouth, but the John Mulaney where he's talking about his ex-wife, Anne Marie Tindler, when they're still together, and he's like, the second my wife has a problem, she says it. Like, I have a stomachache. And I'm like, that's very relatable to me.
that's a woman I can get behind.
Yeah, but that didn't turn out so well for them.
I like it when Irish people stew about their feelings.
You're gonna like Intermezzo.
I know I am.
Yeah. But Intermezzo is my favorite from Sally.
Oh, okay, so exciting.
Yeah. I really like it. I like that a lot of it is like between brothers.
Okay.
It's like definitely includes romantic in a big way, but I like that one of the central kind of like relationships we're looking at is between two brothers.
I like that she always does, like, you feel it's like, oh, there's a big romance in this, but I'm also like examining some other formative relationship at the same time.
Right. It feels very like a person who understands the human experience. And
yes.
A lot of empathy. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
But like she really, it's like almost like a therapist's approach to like, why is this problem happening in the romantic? It's like she's showing us what's happening in the family that informs the it just feels very like a fulsome approach to the person.
Yeah, like she is the god of the book.
Yeah.
She is an author who never violates the contract.
Yep. Yeah.
I feel.
I totally agree. Yeah. So I look forward to talking about Intermezzo. I guess not this week, next episode, but the episode after.
Okay, put a gun to my head, I guess.
Well, you'll have to read it for book club.
Yeah.
Unless you're not going to read the book I
No,
chose
I'm going to read it. Wait, we need to talk about how Molly, it's her turn for book club to choose the book she picked in Intermezzo, but she tried to pick a book that the group had already read.
And I like confidently tossed it in the group chat. I was like, you're welcome, bitches.
You're going to love this one. And everyone was like, no, we did. Actually, 6 months ago we read it.
We actually loved it when we read that. I went through a stint where I wasn't very present at book club. I had like a lot going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I also didn't read that. And I have an almost sterling book club record, but I didn't read that one.
And that's actually probably it.
I know. I'm actually, now that we're talking about it out loud, I'm like, that might have been...
Even the ones I missed, you explained to me. And so now I'm like... You kind of failed me.
I did, and I'm sorry.
No. But that was pretty bad. And like, everyone was like, was that a joke? Like, it wasn't that funny. Molly. And I was like, nope, it was real. But I did want to choose an Irish book, Irish author. Because my pick was for March. Happy.
She's very festive of you.
Well, sorry, I'm imposing my culture on.
Well, it's just interesting because usually you're like anti-Irish.
You know, and that's a journey I've gone on in my adult life for the past, I'd say, 2 years.
Yeah, you've learned to love your heritage.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm probably like mostly English.
Yeah, which is complicated.
Who knows? Who knows what I am?
Maybe we're overcoming your English prejudice.
My English guilt.
Yeah, and your guilt.
No, I'm Irish.
You're Yeah. No, I'm also obviously Irish.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about, The Cut put out an article, if it wasn't this week, it was last, about celebrity book clubs, and it was super interesting. Yeah, it was published on February 20th. I was going back in like books I've read recently that like I wanted to talk about in our genre. And I realized each of them had a celebrity book club endorsement.
No way.
Yeah. So the first one was The Wedding People by Alison Espach.
I need to read that.
It was really good.
Really? Okay.
I
feel like I've seen lukewarm.
I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I liked it, you know, I kind of like a sense of place.
Yeah.
In a book, especially an East Coast place that I personally love. And this one's set in Newport, and I really liked that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my sister should read this. She loves Newport.
Yeah. It's a great book. I really liked it. I thought the characters were interesting and like, you know, like had a little bit of grit to them. No spoilers. I mean, this comes up very early in the first chapter, but like, and I'm sure in the summary on the back of the book, but the protagonist goes to this like beautiful hotel in Newport for the express purpose of, I'm sorry, trigger warning, ending her life. So I actually remember like not recommending it to you, and we were like, oh man, winter and everything is hard.
Yeah.
It's one of those where you like
summer.
have to be. It's a summer read.
Yeah. When you're reading it, you're like, suicide. This is a fiction.
It definitely has like a little bit more weight to it.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
I love that.
Dark funny.
Yeah.
In a way I really like. And it's like, it is that like kind of through line to life. It's like, isn't it kind of funny? I'm here to maybe end my own life. Like,
yeah.
And that she's still, you can tell in like her good humor, she's got so much like to live for.
Yeah.
And, like,
This sounds like a girl I'd really like.
I really liked her. And she's not like a super young protagonist either, which I really liked.
Yeah.
Like,
get these 23-year-olds out of my book.
Kinda, yeah. She's definitely like lived and earned her like well-roundedness, I guess, or her like the depth of her character. And interesting cast. It's also like implausible. Like it feels like circumstances will prevent people from getting together that should be together.
Okay.
Not like war, but like war, I'm like, they can just figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, just
the war will end.
Talk to the general.
Get a special dispensation from the general.
Right, like, we're like, figure it out. But like, when it's like, literally like, oh no, like my friend's boyfriend, I'm like, yeah, that's
actually, that's so much more
How you gonna do
than
that? Yeah. But the book club endorsement that book got was Read with Jenna.
Ooh, Jenna
Bush
Bush
Hager. Yeah. Today Show, obviously.
Yes. And daughter of George W.
Daughter of W.
Which people I think do forget.
I have never forgotten.
Yeah, I know you haven't, but I think people do forget.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
She would not be who she is without it, so.
But I also kind of love those twins. I feel like they were just party girls who got swept up in something they never asked for.
Let me be clear, I have no problem with her.
Yeah. I mean, aside from her continued alignment with her father.
Sure. Yeah. But I think her as a person is fine.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. No, in fact, I find her kind of delightful.
Yeah, she's kind of lovely.
Okay, so, and apparently, so the Cut article goes into, like, what the gold standards are in book club endorsements, celebrity book club endorsements. There is a de facto big four. Like, there's a real hierarchy.
Oh, that's so
this.
interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you guess who number one on the big four is?
Reese.
No. Go back further. Think, like, longevity.
Oh, Oprah.
Oprah.
Okay.
Oprah remains the gold standard.
Okay.
To get, especially because she really is more literary in her selection. So if your book has like deeper themes, darker stuff, like she will go there with you. It won't just be like beach read stuff.
That's interesting. So to get that, even if you have a beach, like say it's a beach read and you get the Oprah
then that's
seal.
Really, whoa. Okay. Did you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Oprah remains that girl. But number two, Jenna Bush Hager.
Really?
She kind of is like really carving out a space.
She's on our TVs every morning, so maybe that's.
And it's the double kind of like endorsement of having multiple segments that really like highlight this on America's TVs every morning, and having a celebrity face, because there's a GMA book club,
right?
And that's in the big four, that rounds out the big four.
No way.
Yeah, GMA has a lot of power, and I think part of it is that they like do recurring segments in a given day. Like it'll be multiple mentions of the book throughout the morning, but it doesn't have a face attached to it. It's just the generalized like cast of GMA is talking about it. But Jenna is like,
and I have to imagine that's more like an integration with a publishing house.
Well, I think it's
or multiple. I mean,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But Jenna has really like, she's made it hers too. She's like lent her personal brand to it, and I think it's really like done a lot. So like that will make like any of the big four. I think the argument is like they will a bestseller make.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then number 3 of 4 is Reese. Yeah. And
interesting that I thought she was gonna be. I don't know.
Well, I think she's really like, she has that recency bias. I think, where she's really, and the other like brass ring you're really looking to catch is the optioning it for film.
Yeah.
And that's what Reese
is your girl.
Famous for.
Yeah.
Yeah. She will take even like kind of a middling, like
middle list.
Yeah,
I feel like she has really elevated books that otherwise maybe didn't deserve it.
And she stays riding for her books,
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
She
yeah.
won't just, like, you know, promote then drop. She will continue to push for years to come.
Totally.
And, like, she has that pipeline to production.
Yeah.
To TV and film. So, like, love that. But then there's, like, a long tail of celebrity book clubs that, like, have, it lends, like, esteem or maybe, like, some clout, but doesn't really amplify the sales.
Yeah.
The way those big four do. Examples include Bellatrix, which is Emma Roberts' book club. Yeah. I only recently saw this, like, come up on my socials. Apparently, she takes a unique approach where she has a plugin with an indie publishing, or, like, an indie, it's a distribution platform, where it's, like, for a subscription fee, it's, like, $25 a month or something. You get the book she selects.
Interesting.
Like, via digital, I don't know. Which, okay, fine.
Yeah. I'd be like, all right,
Yeah.
I guess.
And then Tea Time with Dakota Johnson. Didn't know about that.
Tea time. Actually, I want to know more about that.
I have my eyes on her.
Yeah.
Just because I think Dakota has a taste.
I agree.
But, you know, who's emerging is, like, taste.
Who?
Dua Lipa.
I never would have guessed that.
She attaches a podcast to it.
Yeah.
And she
what? She's a
interviewed-
podcast?
Yeah, where she interviews these authors.
Really?
It's so fucking cool.
Okay.
She interviewed a
Okay,
Nobel
new goal.
Prize winner recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, new goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Dua, I think hers is, like, actually very elevated.
Interesting.
But then, yeah, Natalie Portman has one, and actually the cut includes, like...
I am sorry, I can't trust Natalie Portman due to her fraught relationship with Jonathan Franzen.
I could not agree more.
Yeah.
Reading those emails, I was like...
I don't want to read anything else you have written or recommend based on that.
She comes off much less crazy than he does.
Yeah, for sure.
She's just kind of like, wait, what?
Yeah, how did I get into this?
But still.
Yes.
I'm like, you guys are intellectual fetishists. Like, you're just crazy. Bless you.
Thank you.
But actually, the cut is kind of bitchy about hers particularly. It basically, they kind of insinuate that hers has the least amount of, like, actual value to lend to authors.
Really?
Because her audience, for all of her intellect and all of her, like, long time trying to position as, like, a really smart, you know, deep person, her audience is like, you're so pretty, Natalie. Like, she'll post a book and all of the comments are like, beautiful girl, thank you,
It's
mama.
so amazing that you know how to read. Just even though you're so beautiful.
You're so beautiful, Natalie.
She is one of those people that, like, people totally idolize and
Yeah.
for her beauty.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think there's actually something sinister there because
Okay.
it was her beauty as a child that I think people really like.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, sorry.
No,
Sorry, I
you're
went
right
there.
though, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's important to mention. So
Yeah.
thank you for doing the work.
But so that's what the Cut article covered, and it was really interesting to understand, like, their perspective on the hierarchy because they interviewed a lot of like people in the scene. Like, some authors commented anonymously being like, yeah, it was, like, so nice of Dakota to, like, send us good vibes, but, like, it didn't really
do
meaningfully
anything.
change our
Yeah.
lives. But then one book club that's omitted from that list, but my attention was piqued recently, Mindy Kaling.
I was gonna say, doesn't Mindy Kaling have one, and why is she not?
I think she recently started it. That's actually the other book that I had started recently that, like, pinged in my brain. I was like, oh, this, like, makes a big deal of its
Yeah.
book club recommendation. It's Mindy Kaling's recommendation. The book,
That's a list I'd really want to be on, I think.
I think so too. The book I'm referencing is The Rules of Fortune by Danielle Prescott. And
Okay.
I found it because I have followed Danielle as, like, an influencer
Yes.
for a minute. But she now lives in Milwaukee, famously from Milwaukee. But either way, she got the Mindy endorsement. She speaks very highly of it as, like, from the author perspective.
Yeah.
I think it's relatively new, so I think I'd like to see.
Okay.
But I agree. Like, I think Mindy, she's a writer first and foremost.
Yeah.
And she
And I'm
obviously-
interested in her production
Totally.
sensibilities.
Me too.
Her ability to bring things to the screen.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, like, we should add that to our vision board.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you outside of Oprah, whose list do you want to be on?
Jenna Bush.
Really? Okay.
I want Jenna, and I love you, girl. I want Jenna to, I think, yeah, I want that kind of reach.
You
I
want that
kind of like mass appeal.
Yeah, your business
I'm not
sensibilities are pinging, and you want
Sorry,
that
I'm
GBH.
I'm a business girl. At the
No,
end of the
and
day.
I'm like hearing you say that out loud. I'm like, no, I want that too.
Yeah.
So, because my first thought was Reese, because I like I don't know,
Yeah.
she's got to me the current aesthetic appeal.
I agree.
But
Yeah.
and then the Dakota of
and
it
Reese,
all.
beyond her production of it all, like has a lot. Reese has her fingers in a lot of like VC and
totally. Yeah, she's interested in
the business side.
She is, but the Jenna Bush Hager, like, I feel like if you get that, you're probably also getting the business. It opens production doors for you either way.
Yeah, I think so. And I also wonder, like, once something is like a little bit further along the maturation curve, like Reese's whole deal, like it's probably pretty like, here are your boilerplate terms. This will change your life.
True.
But, like, I wonder if there's a little bit more.
You can run the show
latitude
a little bit
if you have the installed audience. Thank you, Jenna. And now I can go broker my deals with any. I can maybe start a bidding war.
I love that. Put that on the vision board. Bidding war.
Bidding war. Georgia.
Oh yeah. You have to be there.
I would love a bidding war. Yeah, that's kind of what I got. That's what I got for this week.
Okay, I love that. I'm gonna add that to my vision board as well. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Rules of Fortune, just close that out.
Oh yeah.
I did drop it.
I was gonna say I remember you not loving it.
I dropped it for the time being. I don't think I gave it a fair enough shot. I'm probably let me look. I am only 15% of the way into the book. That's not so much. It's very little, even.
Yeah. Please. Can I ask you a question about the wedding people?
Yeah.
Is that a romance?
Yeah, it's a romance.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the last note you had was A Real Pain.
Okay, yeah. I watched the only thing I consumed this week because I was very busy. I watched one movie on one of my plane rides, and I watched A Real Pain. Have you seen it?
No.
I didn't realize this, but written and directed, and I'm glad I didn't realize this till after I watched it. Written and directed by Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, I think that's his name. How did you miss that?
I don't know.
They've been like doing a heavy press.
Yeah, I mean, I knew he was like starring in it, but I guess I just didn't know that he wrote it. And then it ended, and I was like, oh, he wrote it. And I think if I'd gone into that with that, I might have like judged it more harshly. Okay. Because I thought the writing was really good.
Yeah.
So
I think he is a really good writer.
Yeah. That's kind of my takeaway from it. The premise of the movie, it's him and Kieran Culkin. They're cousins, and their grandmother has died, and she had lived in Poland, maybe during the Holocaust, not sure, but in order to like honor her, they're going back to her hometown in Poland and like doing a tour of her hometown in Poland. And Jesse Eisenberg plays this like more uptight cousin, and Kieran Culkin is this very like lovable but also really loud and like kind of annoying cousin. And it's all about their trip through Poland, and like how they interact with the tour group and stuff like that. And I just really enjoyed I just wanted to talk briefly about how I really enjoyed the overall theme of the movie, which was that I think like the things that make us annoying as people, or like some of our worst qualities as people are also our best qualities. Ooh. And the things that make us lovable, which I think is like something is just true of everyone. Is like the thing that really pisses me off about some people is like also the thing that I like love about them. Yeah. And I think you like first see it through Kieran Culkin's character, because he's this very like, he is like in the group and makes friends with everyone. Like everyone loves this guy. Like has no boundaries. He's like sharing his opinions, and the group is like, he's like making jokes at the when everyone's introducing themselves, he's like making jokes. And you see like Jesse Eisenberg, like you can tell he's like kind of jealous because he's more like has a hard time socially. Over time though, you realize that like Kieran Culkin's lack of boundaries is the thing that's like really like held him back in life. Gotcha. And like made him a difficult person to deal with. Like there's this scene where they're on a train to another town and they're in the first class car, and Kieran Culkin like freaks out about it and is like, this is so fucked up, our ancestors were here during the Holocaust, it's crazy that we're on the first class train, and like storms out, and everyone's just like he just made us feel really bad about simply being on a train.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, he has these like really great insights about like, I don't know, he like makes really beautiful points and then also really annoying points.
Yeah.
And because he's the kind of person who's like okay with being uncomfortable and making other people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So it's like, by the same token, he's like the person who makes everyone feel comfortable by
Yeah.
being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then also I feel like at the beginning you're not supposed to like Jesse Eisenberg's character because you're like, this guy's such a square.
Yeah.
But then you're like, these two are kind of cut from the same cloth, but he's just made different choices.
Yeah.
And the things that make him annoying, he's uptight, he's like kind of like has a hard time connecting with people, are also the things that make him great. Like he's this grounded father for his family.
Reliable.
He's very reliable. He
Yeah.
takes care of Kieran Culkin in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought it was like a really interesting message, and I walked away
Beautiful.
really loving it. And I
Yeah.
thought it was super well written, beautifully made.
Emma Stone was one of the producers on the film.
Oh, I did see that in the credits. Yeah,
She, I talk about a
an
producer's
endorsement I
sensibility.
want. Yeah.
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 She and her husband have this production studio that has like quietly gone about making some of the most like, I think like these stories just they would never have been made absent her. And Jesse's speech was to that point. He was like, you've picked up people like me, people like Julio Torres, who
That movie was
love.
so good too.
I still haven't seen
You gotta
it.
see it.
I
Yeah.
will. The Problemista.
Yeah.
Must see.
I think it's just probably. Sorry. I didn't want to correct you, but.
Also funny that it's like Jesse
I
Eisenberg
know.
who's the first thing.
Yeah.
You know, sorry,
Watch it be the probably. But I'm pretty sure it's probably.
Whoops.
It's probably
Yeah. Okay.
No, I did it again.
It's all good. Okay. Sorry. What were you saying?
Yeah, no, it's like Emma Stone and her production company have like Jesse talks about, you know, after they met on Zombieland, I think.
Oh yeah.
They met when they were much younger,
Yeah.
though, he and Emma Stone, and he's quietly been doing writing, like great writing.
And thank God.
Yeah. He's, you know, he said he'd like publish a little something on McSweeney's here
Yeah.
and there. And he was like, Emma Stone is the only person in my life, my mom included, who would read everything I ever published,
Aw.
screenshot moments and be like, this was so funny, and text me about them.
Chills.
I know. And he was like, she is like an incubator, a champion of, you know, like someone who recognizes true, like writing that other people don't and platforms it in a way
Wow.
no one else will. And
That doesn't surprise me because she's so gifted as an actress.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think like talk about empathy. I think she really kind of sees the Matrix.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was the one who kind of like plucked this screenplay.
Good on her. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I also think like I maybe I'm being really reductive about the plot, but like I think the title was sort of like meant to communicate the whole theme.
It like kind of should have been The Real Pain.
True. Or just real pain. Because I think he's supposed to be, Kieran Culkin is supposed to be like a real pain in the ass, but like he's also going through a real pain in that like his relationship, he had an extremely close relationship with the grandmother and he tried to kill him. We are really talking a lot about suicide today, but he tried to kill himself after she died. So I think it's like, I don't know, that's very reductive, but I think the whole thing is meant to be like the hard things are also the beautiful things and etc.
No, I think
so
I want to watch it now.
Yeah, you should. And it was also a tight like 80, I don't know how long, but it was short, which was nice because sometimes I don't want to like, I want to do lots of different things on the plane, you know? I want to get up to multiple different
projects,
little tasks.
What else do you want to do?
Normally I want to read a little bit. I want to listen to a little music. Oh, also I have this issue on planes where like I have to sleep for the first 30 minutes of the flight because my body has an insane reaction to to planes taking off.
Oh yeah, but you're fine at altitude. It sounds like your body
shuts down. Like as soon as the plane like starts to slightly go off the ground, I'm out like a light.
It's like those videos of people on roller coasters where they're like,
literally, I'm pointing. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I have like maybe a trauma response. I don't know. And it's the same thing when there's turbulence out like a light. And people are always like, that's like not okay. And I'm like, I know. I'm like a baby being
if you were
rocked to
actually
sleep.
in a plane crash and like the
I'd be
thing
like,
between life or death was action, you'd be like,
I'd be like, oh my god, anyone else feel a little sleepy?
shoot.
So yeah, part of it is napping because I gotta budget the first 30 minutes for like a fitful head bobbing where I'm mostly asleep.
Totally, I see that.
Listening to music, reading a little, and then I didn't read at all because I hate The Bodyguard. So I don't know where the timeline.
That's crazy. On the flight, I want one thing to completely take my. I want to be Coco Melon on the plane.
Really?
I want to be totally Coco Melon the whole
So
flight.
are you doing like movies
One
the whole
book.
time?
No.
Oh
one book.
yeah, because you say you said you like to.
Yeah, but it needs to be a good book.
Yeah,
it needs to be
to
something
grip
I
you.
can crush. Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be when you have a celebrity book club, it'll just be like, read it on a plane.
Totally. But the thing is, I do read things I don't particularly like. I just need something to Coco Melon me.
Yeah.
And if it's a bad book, so be it.
Yeah, right. As long as it's something.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so then on the subject of books again.
Yeah.
Should we?
Let's do it.
Should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
So last week we talked about we would outline our books. For those at home, this is going to be outline episode 1.
Yeah.
We're going to give ourselves a second episode to talk about our outlines because, as it turns out, difficult exercise.
It was hard
to come up with
yeah.
the bones of a book.
Yeah.
And we've had big weeks.
We've had big weeks.
But maybe we start with what we'll owe next time.
Okay.
Before we get it. No, what do you think?
No, I like that. Yeah.
Okay, so, right, we're going to start talking about outlines today. We have a few kind of, like, sub-themes or threads that we've pulled out.
Yeah.
But then what we've committed to by next week is finishing our outlines, like working through these problems that we're going to kind of talk about today, and also committing to, like, a work-back plan for the complete book production life cycle.
Yes, for delivering.
Yeah, delivering a draft.
Yeah.
By January.
Yeah.
And it's March.
Yeah, it feels like it's far off, but it's not.
And so what we will share next episode are the big milestones we agree on.
The check-in.
So something like, let's say, like X number of pages by Y date.
Yeah.
And we're going to, on top of the outline, kind of like figure out what the right milestones are. Assign dates to them as well.
Yes.
And our Taurus will be keeping us.
She'll break out her gun.
Yep. She'll break out Excel and...
Yeah, we can put it... Can you make us a little document?
Could you make us little documents, please?
Could you? It would be so nice.
Yeah.
She's looking at us like, this is so pathetic.
She's like already made the docs. Yeah.
She just went...
Yeah, so that's what we said we would do for next week. But let's talk about it. Should we now get into?
Yes. Did you start your outline?
Yeah.
How did it go for you?
I'm having a really hard time.
Yeah, me too.
I realized I didn't quite know what I wanted out of this book.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk me through your...
Okay, so the issues I'm having, did you use the beat sheet? That's what I used.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I don't fucking have the book, so I had to go back to our podcast recording and write down.
Okay, good. Get the streams up, you know? So, yeah, I used the I always do it wrong. Save the cat.
The Save the Cat writes the novel.
I used their 15-point beat sheet for this. I got through 10 of them.
Okay, I got through 5.
But 5 of them I did like this morning. And I don't mine are pretty vague, I think. Like I have concepts of a plan. That's my mine are for the opening image, I have an idea of what that's gonna be, but I don't have the specifics, and I don't know if I'm supposed to have the specifics yet.
No, and that's okay. So I'm doing the 15 beats on one side, and then on the other, I've been
ooh,
as moments come to me that are specific.
Okay.
I want to write a scene that's like this.
Yeah, I kind of
I'll jot that down, kind of in parallel.
Okay.
And then I'm just hoping at some point they kiss.
I think that's a really good idea, though.
I don't know.
No, I think that's good. I definitely, what I'm really, and I will say now that we're getting into it, I am worried about the middle, the fun and games. what a cruelly named section.
Okay.
More like bad times and fear.
Hard for girls who don't like plans.
Because I'm just like, I know what that looks like in a romance novel,
Right.
but I'm like, do I have to figure out all the fun and all the games right now? Do I have to become an event coordinator right now?
I know.
Do I have to
We need
plan a
Steven
wedding
on
right
the
now?
horn.
Yeah, I need Joops
Yeah.
too.
We're referring to our friends with the most like program management skills.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm more like a vibes curator. I'm like,
Yeah.
can I do the playlist?
And I have been working on my private playlist.
Really?
I want to share them with the listeners at some
yeah,
point
I love
too.
that idea.
That's actually something a third parallel stream.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, here are the beats, trying to work through those badly. Here are some scenes. I can see them more viscerally, but much fewer, and I just hope they graft onto the right beats at the right time.
I think that's really smart, actually.
And then I'm also like, this playlist, I'm like, oh, this song is how I want it to feel at this moment.
You have like synesthesia or something.
My mind.
I'm literally like, whoa.
No,
this is so smart. I'm just like,
No, not at all. You know that? What's the Taylor Swift song that's like, he says, what a mind, this happens all the time.
Yeah.
When I heard that lyric, I turned to Mittens. I was like, you've never said that to me. What a mind.
You're so fucked up for that.
Yeah, it's become like a joke across our marriage. Like,
and by the end of this, he will be saying, what a mind. I'm saying it right now. That was so genius.
Shut up. But I want to share my playlist. I'm going to actually work on having that.
Maybe I'll do it too.
Please do.
Yeah. I don't feel
fun.
like I have, but maybe this will help me because I think I'm struggling right now. I feel like someone blindfolded me and like shoved me in a cave with like a bad map, and I'm like,
No, I'm literally just like doing other things to like have more fun.
Yeah, but I think that's good. Like whatever it takes, whatever gets us, to the draft.
Well, and it feels like, you know, with this like added context of a podcast for accountability, like we can't share as we make progress on particular plot points because
we can share.
We can share, right? The more, I think the more like complementary, assets we're able to let people in on. I want to share it.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's probably filtering into my process too.
I think that's smart. I do have like, I don't know if I want to share the detail.
Okay.
I, for some reason, have always thought the hottest thing that can ever happen is like a makeout in an elevator where the elevator has broken down.
Love it.
So I kind of want, that's like the one scene that I have that I want to include. I want elevators to feature prominently in my book.
Okay, excellent.
So that's something that's gonna go with, I'm like, that feels like fun and games.
I'd say so.
So like I'm putting that in there.
Did you ever watch New Girl all the way through?
Oh yeah, and I know where you're going.
That makeout scene, hot.
Yeah.
Set to Green Light by Lord. That's one of those moments. Like that is so music right. That is so right. Like,
yeah.
And you feel like that's how I want the scene to feel. Like Green Light.
Ooh. Okay, I gotta pick a song because I can't use Green Light. No, but like mine's more like. Mine's gonna be angrier, I think. Although the New Girl one's pretty angry too.
Yeah.
That New Girl has one of the best first kiss scenes of all time.
Couldn't agree more. Kind of fall off at the end, but
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They built it right up.
They built it up.
Yeah.
And that's a trope we don't see enough. Frenemies to lovers. And roommates, of course.
And roommates, of course.
Yeah. Okay, one thing I want to talk about that I'm struggling with is how to not make my book sexist.
Oh, man. I want to write a dumb broad.
I feel like I'm writing, like...
You're not.
I feel like I might be, though, because I'm like... Or not a dumb broad. She's very intelligent. Actually, I think she's quite sharp.
What a mind.
She's what a mind. But I fear that I'm making mine, like, very stereotypical, which I am afraid of. Like, I feel like she's hyper independent, she's got this job she's obsessed with, but I feel like that
she's missing love.
Exactly, and I don't want to do that. And I do I like the idea of this character who's like hyper independent and hasn't yet learned that vulnerability is power.
Literally, walk with me here.
Yeah. Sorry, my hands are so sweaty.
They're really clammy. I think, like, I went through this exact because I talked through my plot with Mittens, and he was like, you're kind of like describing the stuff you hate. Like the Hallmark movie where the big city, like, titan of industry realizes what she needs is love and throws it all away. I'm like, no. Yeah. She's not throwing it, but like...
She's not going to throw it all away. I want to be clear on that.
It's not sexist to admit people need love, and the notion that that is, like, a uniquely, like, feminine ideal is crazy. Yeah. Sorry, women are just, like, sooner to, like, be emotionally available, but, like, it's... two sides of the same coin, bro. Like, you're out here getting into a relationship with me. Yeah. Whereas it's just that people don't really write romance books from the male perspective that often.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I know. I think that's true.
Because, of course, you're making compromises in your life to, like, accommodate love and, like, let that be a big role in your life. But it's a worthy thing.
It is. It's not, like, a silly, stupid thing. And I think that I just maybe need to let go of a little bit of, like, the pressure I'm feeling, all self-imposed, that, like, she needs to be the perfect woman, which in itself is sexist. But, like, yeah, I think I'm just, like, struggling. And the other thing I'm struggling with is, like, what my finale is going to be, truthfully, because I also don't want the takeaway from this novel to be, like, reality TV is stupid, because that's not at all the point I'm trying to make.
Don't go there.
So I'm trying to be careful about that. But I also want to give her, like, an opportunity for growth beyond reality TV. So I'm, like, I'm having trouble with that, I guess.
I completely share this concern. It's, like, because...
I don't want to do her bad. Like, I'm like, she's my friend. I don't want to fuck her up.
Well, and, like, we are writing characters for whom their jobs are quite important. Yeah. And so you don't, like, unfortunately, we put ourselves on the hook for, like, giving answers about their professional outcomes, kind of. And it's, like, it's such a thin line. Because if you say, like, oh, maybe they decide, like, work's not everything. Oh, okay, sexist.
Yeah, okay, trad wife.
Oh, she can't have,
Okay, this is trad wife.
Send her off to the ballerina farm. I'm not going to do that. But then it's, like, okay, then do I need to, like, make her where she lands professionally a core part of her identity? Well, but then it's like, okay, if you do want to, like, reaffirm the continued importance of their career, you have to, like, do a career plan for them. I'm like, I can't even do that for myself.
It's so much work.
And, like, what? I don't want to, like, imbue any, like, moral importance into one job or another, because actually, like, I kind of want her arc to be like,
and work doesn't matter.
No, I don't know.
No. See, this is where, she found the perfect balance of work and personal life, and she's happy. She doesn't bring her job home, and yet she really cares about it.
On the commune, her job is actually...
Maybe it ends with your character and my character on a commune.
It's gonna get weird. And then the production option isn't for scripted, it's for reality, and it's us.
Yes. And reality TV is important.
Hell yeah, landed it.
Landed the plane.
You were asleep, but the plane landed.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, it's like, that's actually extremely difficult.
It's so hard, and I fear I've backed myself into a corner. And the other thing I'm really struggling with is the midpoint, which has to end, I guess, in a false victory or a false failure. And I'm like, which one do I do? And then, like, I think that whatever happens there affects the ending, because you kind of have to get them to the opposite of whatever happens in the middle.
I see exactly what you're saying.
So I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to make reality TV seem valid. That's what we're dealing with.
Yeah. I wonder too if my approach will be, like, I don't know what's typical with authors. It'd be useful. We should just, like, talk to more authors on the pod, outside the pod. But, like, I wonder how typical it is to kind of, like, gameplay, like, all of these different options. I don't know how much, like, depth you give it when you do it, but, like, I think my approach is going to be, like, modeling out multiple different options.
I think that's smart.
I need, like, a Figma for this. I need, like, a...
Yeah. You're a very visual person, I'm finding.
And I really don't find myself. I don't...
Your synesthesia.
It's popping. No, I just feel like I need to Try a few different configurations.
No, I was thinking about this last night, and I'm hardly the first person to say this, but this is something I think about a lot with joke writing and stand-up, that it's like, a lot of times it's like, you're kind of trying to do like a trigonometry proof, where you're like, what is X? I know what Y is, I know what Z is, I don't know what X is. And you gotta try a couple different things, I think.
Gotta try a couple different things. Yeah. So
I like that idea, though, of giving us... I also am, like, trying to give myself the space to change my characters, because I don't really want to change the premise. I'm pretty happy with the premise, although it is creating some issues for me.
It'll be fun.
And I am a little bit worried about the contract I'm going to have with my readers. I'm like, I have to learn a lot about what I'm...
You know so much about baseball.
I'm actually not worried about baseball. I'm more worried about, like, TV production.
Okay. You can definitely get there.
Yeah.
We live in New York City.
That's true.
We have friends that work in TV production.
No, I can definitely get there. I think I'm just, like... And I'm worried in doing the trigonometry proof that I'm not going to, like, do it incorrectly and, like, make concessions that I can't make. You know what I mean?
It's rigorous work.
Yeah. The work is mysterious and important.
And important. No spoilers, don't you dare.
No, I won't.
Yeah, no, I'm similarly having agita around, like, it's not going to be a love triangle, but it will be a multiple romantic
interests
possibilities. Yeah. And I'm giving myself a lot of leeway to, like, develop and change those characters, like, of the multiple options. I know who my guy is at this point, I think.
Okay.
But, like, how much of a toss-up do I want to make them ending up together?
Yeah.
How it weighs on, like, it weighs on how much, like, depth or, like, appeal I give other options. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have so much work to do.
The fact that you have to write multiple men is scary to me.
It's kind of fun to me.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really, I think, fun.
I don't know, but it's hard, and I don't know that I've read a lot of books that do that particularly well.
Did you read The Husbands, our book club book?
Yeah, I was at that book club and I read that one.
Sorry, I did not mean to presume. But I think that's a book that does it quite well.
Totally.
The men, I will say, are pretty one-dimensional in that book. It's the premise is that this woman, every time she goes into her attic, she brings down a different husband.
Yeah.
And I think they are meant to be pretty one-dimensional.
Well, yeah, literally, like, fuels the sci-fi, like, premise.
True.
No, I agree. And I actually think, talking through this out loud, I think I have to, like, reduce the total time spent wondering as a reader. I think the sooner you show the reader that's going to be your guy, the better.
I think that's true.
Okay.
How do you feel about, like, how to do that?
I don't want to talk about it.
I think it's also a little bit scary. Like, I feel a little bit like God.
I don't want to talk about it because I don't know.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm God, and God don't know.
Yeah, God's actually fallible, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think I still need to do the work, the mysterious and important work of firming up my outline.
Same.
At least just having a working version of it that can change as we write.
Yeah.
But, like, it's time to get serious about
the project. I agree, because I think if the map isn't good, we're gonna be up a creek without
we're already
a paddle.
In the cave.
Yeah.
And the map needs to improve.
in the map with the cave, like, is there, like, maybe hidden handwriting on the back? Like, is there something?
Is this Plato's cave? Wait, kind of to this, like, situating the map question. What's your ideal length for a book?
So I want to go by what I'm, like, really happy to read, which for me is somewhere between, I would say, like, 320 and 360.
That's exactly the length.
I think that's a perfect length of a book.
Okay.
Anything shorter, I'm, like, a little bit... I will say I don't like when a book feels too long, where I'm like, you were just kind of trying to hit...
Iron Flame. It just could have been 2 books.
Right that time.
Yeah, I did.
I don't want it to feel like I'm trying to hit a word count.
Right.
Yeah.
But it feels important to me, like, to know if I'm going to, like, all right, I got 320 pages to nail this.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, it'll stop me. I think it's a good container to stop me from being like, We'll be like, what if she like explores her childhood home for a while? Like,
I think I'm gonna end up doing that. I think she's going home at some point.
Hometown visits.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's important to me. And then wait, one other thing I wanted to talk about now that we're getting like a little bit more pen to paper with it all.
Yeah.
We briefly touched on this. Your names are so good.
Thank you.
And I think like there's a lot that goes into a name. And we've heard from a listener, like she wants to talk more about, and she's actually going to guest on the pod in a few episodes, Callie. You'll be seeing from her, but we have our own kind of like boundaries around a name. Like she was saying she can't read any kind of smut that like has, for example, her mother-in-law's name in it.
For example.
Which I'm kind of like, that'd be fine with me, I think.
I don't have a mother-in-law, so I can't. But I think if my mom's name in it, I actually don't think it would bother me that much.
I feel the same.
Yeah.
But then on the writing side, not the reading side, like I have obviously a lot more guardrails. Like,
Same.
It's like people would be like, oh, you named your character after me. No.
Yeah.
But it's like, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I have to do a thing where I'm like, I can't know anyone intimately with this name. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the same. But you said your syllabic thing, you needed to follow your name.
I know, that just felt right for me. And I think I was talking to a friend recently, Catherine Duffy, and she was saying, and I don't know if this is true or not, that like Lena Dunham, when she was writing Girls, made Hannah Horvath have the same syllabic thing, and that was very validating for me. That's all I really wanted to say on it.
Totally.
I just think that like, and I want to be clear, I think my character is not me.
No,
like she's gonna have a lot of my issues because that's life. But like, I was like, to relate to her, I need her to have first, last,
I agree.
one syllable names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I think how baby name TikTok has blown up.
Has it really?
Oh, I get a lot of them. Yikes. I've seen a lot of TikTok content around like what goes into a name. Like it'll be baby name prediction TikToks for influencers because the trad wife influencer like archetype has taken off.
Yeah.
So people kind of, I don't know if it was originally like rooted in trolling, but it'd be like, I will guess what this baby's name is going to be because like they're all naming him cracked things like maple maple leaf.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. But then there's like name theory that goes into both those predictions, and then like people have stood up consultancies for baby names.
That's crazy.
They charge an arm and a leg for like
Can I do that? I feel like because I nailed it. Like maybe maybe there's business in there.
I absolutely think you should. It'll be like an Upper East Side like yummy mummy who will be like, yeah, I need a name for my third child that goes well with like Grace and Blue and Chicory Sweet. And I was like, I need the name to not be the story.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to give them a porny name.
Yeah.
Like,
What's a porny name to you?
Well, all these guys in romance books are named things like Chase Edmond or like...
Yeah. For some reason when a man has like... I actually was thinking about this. Like, I don't like in a book when it's like... they say each other's first and last names a lot.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think it's so hot in real life. And I'm like, I know
to do a last name?
Well, no, actually.
Oh.
And I know men do this as like a trick where when they're...
She's on to you.
Yeah.
Got your number.
They like will say your name. And you're... and you're like, ah! And it's like... in a book that pervs me out a little bit.
Right. To be like, Claire.
Sorry, I guess what I'm trying to say, in a book it doesn't read the same way. I don't know, and maybe I'm just weak in real life, and like when someone types out my name, I'm like, he knows my name. But
no, I kind of agree.
In books, I think the equivalent of that is doing a first and last name or a nickname, and I hate both.
I don't like first and last name. That always reads a little schmaltzy to me.
Yeah, it's schmaltzy.
Yeah. But a nickname I can go for. Like
Cracker Jack?
For no. For example, in Fourth Wing, the like male lead, Zayden, he will, like the protagonist is named Violet Sortingale. And when he says Violet, I'm like, whatever, don't call her that.
Yeah.
But one of his nicknames for her is Violence. And when he calls her Violence, I'm like...
I fear I might hate it.
Oh, I kind of like it.
I need to read it
It's
to
like,
see how I feel about it.
yeah, I like it. Well, they're always miscommunicating. And for me, when he says violence, I'm like, oh, you guys are like not
You're being
fighting
real.
right now. Great. Great.
I hate to interrupt, but have you seen those TikToks that are like Violet and Zayden fighting in their minds, and it's just them being like,
That's funny.
well, they are like,
No, I haven't done that.
They can
Oh, they can talk.
share
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah, cool.
That's funny. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Sick. I love that. Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. I think in that case, it's more like, oh, thank God mommy and daddy aren't fighting right
Yeah, I
now.
think you're just like feeling relief. I think you're having a trauma response.
Yeah.
I will say that, like, I can think of one instance where a nickname worked for me,
Okay.
and it's in Gilmore Girls when Logan, you didn't watch Gilmore Girls, but
Yeah.
Logan, he calls Rory Ace, and for some reason that really, I know, it's like, I think it's a context thing. Like,
Okay.
I think I need to read Fourth Wing and witness violence.
Yeah.
I need to witness violence.
You're armed down.
I need to witness war.
Thank you.
And make a decision based on that. Because
Yeah.
I think it's very contextual for me.
Yeah.
And I think the bodyguard does a lot of first last name, and I'm just like, shoot me.
That to me can feel like Southern pejorative.
Yeah, and I especially don't like it. I think maybe when the man says it to the woman, I can find it hot. But when the woman like is like, Josh Allen. Quarterback
You know.
Josh Allen.
When Haley Steinfeld is like, Josh Allen.
I don't like that. I don't like it because I'm like, stop being weird.
Do you like last names?
I can. It
You-
really depends. It's so contextual for me.
You know, when they're like, Chris Evans.
Yeah, interesting that I switched to Josh Allen today.
Yeah, no, I don't. The first and last name, it feels too like Sweet Magnolias for me.
Which we love, by the way.
We love
Sweet Magnolia's new season now streaming on
Gotta watch that.
Netflix.
Also, no matter what you tell me about your character, I'm gonna see Coach Cal somewhere. You gotta write me a Coach Cal somewhere.
I
into
will
the
write,
baseball
I'll write you
universe.
a Coach Cal.
Thank you.
When I was saying earlier about changing my plot, I'm also thinking about making my man like have a different role. Have like he might not be what I said he was.
Okay.
He might have a different job than what I said he did.
Okay, yeah,
That's what
sure.
I'm trying to communicate here.
Wait, one last thought on the name thing. I watched the latest installation in the Bridget Jones canon that's exclusively streamed on Peacock.
I can't believe they're still making these.
Girl, they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Leo Woodall, though, he's one of my celebrity crushes. And it's
Not
like,
for me.
it does even more for me that he dates the celebrity I want to look like
Yeah.
so badly
Yeah.
that I asked my hairstylist to make me look like Megan Fahey.
Yeah.
No, I think he's very handsome. But yeah, no, they should stop doing it. But Bridget Jones, such like her name
It's a great name.
is an iconic name, and it's used throughout the series very effectively. Like Hugh Grant's character will often just call her Jones, and like
That's hot.
and you
back.
know, the first movie is like about her being like a spinster, what, like 32,
Yeah.
31. But it's like Bridget Jones, it's like kind of like part of it is like a mark that she has her last name still, whatever. But then,
Right.
are you okay with spoilers?
Yeah. I don't think I'll see the fifth one.
And,
To be frank.
and everybody, and I definitely missed a few in the middle. Like I just
Yeah.
like jumped back
She
in.
have kids now? I don't know.
She does.
Yeah.
With
I seem to remember a Bridget Jones baby in there.
right. With what's his name? The other
Colin Firth.
Colin Firth. With Colin Firth, spoiler, Colin Firth is dead in this installment.
Okay. And just like that
Spoiler.
knockoff.
I said it. Spoiler, yeah, he's dead. But he made her Mrs. Darcy because that was
Right. Yes.
So then throughout this, the fifth installment or whatever, she is called Bridget Jones by the people who knew her when, and like in certain contexts, like at work, she's Bridget Jones, but then in other contexts, like at the school pickup, she's Mrs. Darcy. That to me was like a weird exercise in like name being central to plot,
Yeah.
and name evolving as plot device.
I do like that.
Which I actually really liked too.
Yeah.
And they're great names across the board.
I have to say, Bridget Jones is making me second guess my names a little bit.
Really?
Because Bridget Jones is so, like, not it's almost like too like so normal in a way that I love.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Beyond not being porny, I want it to not be the story.
Yeah.
I want like the name to be so like ambient, so background.
Yeah.
That it's not like, oh, like punch you in the head. Like
Yeah.
like Amber Rose.
Like I especially don't like when
I just want it to be like a nothing name consistent with the character's identity.
Yeah. I think one thing I really don't like is when a name has a story. When it's like she's called Pip because she was in the show choir or some shit like that.
Okay, actually, I'm sold. I'll read it today.
Pip.
Wow, yeah.
Like I don't like
Yeah.
when she has like something silly like that.
Yeah, right.
But now this is making me think like I don't think my names are porny or at all like at the forefront.
No,
but I think
great.
maybe I can soften them a little bit.
No,
We'll
they're
see.
so good. I
What's
love
the
it.
guy's name again?
See, I think it's the guy's name I'm having trouble with actually. It's Zach Waters.
Oh yeah.
It feels a little like
It feels baseball.
yeah, which is like maybe too much.
Zach Waters.
Something to play with.
Something to play with, yeah. Yeah, so I don't even have my guy's name yet, but
That's
we'll figure it
okay.
out.
I think you're going about it in a good way because you want to get to know your
Because
people.
I can see colors, or because I can hear colors.
Yeah, you can like hear and see him and feel him, but you don't know his name yet. He's like in the room with us right now.
Yeah, you can see him too.
No, I can feel him.
Yeah, he's here. Great. We still have a lot of open questions.
We
obviously.
do,
But we're
yeah.
going to advance the work meaningfully this
Yeah.
week by our schedule and our finish outline.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we can definitely do that. We have both had crazy weeks. Not to like take us off the hook, but I will.
It's about the war, not the battles.
And if I've learned anything from Fourth Wing, it's that.
Yep. All right, so sister, what's the most, you've had a week. What's the
I
most
have.
romantic thing that happened within it?
Okay, mine I'm really excited about. I think it was a pretty good one. Also, it's kind of related to the conversation we had today.
Okay.
So I've stayed in a hotel this week for work, and I every morning got the continental breakfast buffet. And I was sort of like making a little home there. Like I walked in like, hey, how you been?
Me again.
Yeah, like that was like when I was being social superstar. I was at continental breakfast.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed the wait staff there. They were just so nice.
Mm-hmm.
And this one guy, I had him on Monday, and then I had him again on Tuesday.
You had him again, didn't you?
And he came up to me on the second day, and he goes, "Oh, you're back, Miss Clark."
Miss Clark.
And for those of you who might not recall, that's the name of my character. I knew you'd have like a...
Whoa.
It was very powerful.
Whoa.
Yeah. And he said like, "Miss Clark, right?" And I went, "Oh, no, close enough. It's Claire."
Miss Clark. That's hot. That's,
I know.
That's cosmic.
I literally had like even Joops's.
I have chills.
Yeah, I corrected him, but immediately was like very pleased.
That's a lightning strike. That's good.
Yeah, so that's the name of my character that I'm writing. So it was just like very, and I was having a hard week balancing everything, so it was like very validated.
God, yeah.
And yeah.
God, I love that.
Yeah, that's my most romantic.
Wow, if that's not confirmation.
Yeah.
I'm glad we talked about names.
I know,
too.
it really, you set me up.
Lock it in.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say now her name is totally locked, but.
Oh, it's been preordained in the Denver.
in the Denver Grand Hyatt.
Grand Hyatt. Perfect. Well, I don't have, mine's not nearly so
That's okay.
cosmic or good. Actually mine is, you're gonna say this is like cheap because it's not like an
I would
event.
never, am I a huge bully?
Oh, you're just gonna
That's cheap.
beat me down like you always do. Hey ladies, yeah, yep. No, this one isn't like a moment in time from this week, but it is something I was reminded of this week, and it's like a great romance generally. Most romantic thing for me is my best friends having aunt and uncle names.
Oh.
I love hearing my friends referred to as Aunt Bear or just Bear
Yeah.
or Bun Bun.
Aw.
It's like the most endearing thing to watch, like my friends become
That's sweet.
like meaningful caretakers and like adults to these babies.
Yeah.
Who then like develop wonderful, unique relationships with each of you.
Yeah.
And it's like we don't have a ton of friends who are parents, though. Love those that are. Hey Mel, baby.
Aw.
But that's actually really romantic too. It's like watching my friends become
Yeah.
adults to babies and
I totally agree with that.
watching those babies like see the sun and the moon in those adults' eyes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Who's Bun Bun?
Callie.
That's okay. That's what I figured.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, she's Bun Bun.
And yeah, my nephew calls me. He tries to say Auntie Bear, but instead he says Auntie B.
Auntie
Auntie
B.
B.
So
Or just
sweet.
B. Sometimes he drops the formality.
Which like we could kind of follow his patterns for romance nicknames.
Yeah, it's kind of he's onto something for sure.
Okay, Casanova.
Also, to your point, like, yeah, seeing like my sister, I think that was like the most emotional I've been. Becoming an aunt has made me a more emotional person. Period. But like, just seeing my sister become a mom is like,
Oh my god, yeah.
just rocks your world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, she's a superstar. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm so excited for all of my and to see you become a mother. These last 2 weeks has been such a joy.
Again, no offense to those who care for human babies, which is very different.
I was joking, but now I'm being serious. It's nice to see you open your heart to another living thing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She bought him a stroller.
He has a stroller right now. Well, we get him fully up to speed on vaccines. Yeah.
Get him fully trained.
Get him regimented and obedient. Yeah, he never will be, but that's okay.
It's okay. He doesn't need to be perfect.
It's not our style.
No.
All right.
That's it. We'll see you next week. We're going to have lots of work product.
A lot of product. We're going to be output machines.
On the commune.
All right, bye.
Alrighty.